one of the things that I think of that I love is, maybe this is because I've worked on something like this. Not like this, but I do card magic, and I have a magic trick, and I use cards as a metaphor for, the mind getting all shuffled up and messed up. And I tell the story about my mom. And so I have two cards in there. I have a red deck, and the blue deck has two cards in there. And one of the blue cards says memory, and the other card says aid. And then I tell the story of when my mom had early onset dementia, and I'm shuffling the cards like crazy and telling the story. And then anyway, long story short, I use the memory aid, and I sort of put them on the top of the deck and the bottom of the deck, and I go like that. And then the whole deck, as my mom is healed, is now in complete order, even though you've watched me shuffle it, 10 times till Sunday. And so, I think the card thing is cool, really, really appropriate, because shuffled decks is kind of, visually metaphorical for the mind getting all shuffled up, so to speak, and not knowing Tuesday from Sunday, so to speak. So that's good. And I actually, that's really cool. I wouldn't have thought of it that way. Like the reason I'm using cards is just because, again, with memory sports, it is hard to pick something. If I was just memorizing strings of numbers or binary, cards are a little more, visually appealing and exciting. And, so that's kind of why I'm doing that. And that's kind of what I'm good at too. If I had to pick one event, cards is kind of it's my specialty. So it was just kind of a natural fit, but that's really cool. Like that feels even more appropriate now that you said that. That's awesome. I don't have the setup, but maybe later I can change the camera around and show you the trick. Or I love that. Some other time. I actually want to talk to a guy named Jason Ledani, who I've seen him lecture magic, and he preaches against memorizing a deck of cards. He says he preaches against not using mnemonics, but he has a mem deck, and he just like hard memorizes it, with basically rote. And anyway, I just to maybe get him on the podcast sometime, I want to hire him as my consultant to figure out how I can perform this trick on camera, because I'm not very good on camera. I can do magic tricks, from pretty good in person, but on camera I always look weird. But whatever. I love that metaphor, and I think it's very, very appropriate. And also, I mean, what I am curious about, and it might not work, but I wonder if it would make it more engaging to watch, at least during the recall part, is if you tell how that you encoded the cards, how you are remembering the order.
That's what I'm going to do. I've been trying to do that a little bit during my Twitch streams, but during the Twitch streams, a couple times ago, I was going for a record. I was doing hour cards, and I did really good, and I was getting a little cocky during recall. It's 2-hour recall for that. Yeah. But when you're memorizing like 30 decks of cards in an hour, it's like it doesn't leave. That's a lot of info. So I'm like, this guy's doing this guy's stabbing this guy, and then this guy's election, And before I know it, I'm like, I'm wasting way too much time here. And not only am I wasting time, I mean, I like entertaining, so that in and of itself isn't a waste. But I'm burning time, I should say. But then I'm also burning some of the memories are slowly fading away while I'm talking. Right. So anyway, I ended up not doing this good. And I look for excuses, and I blamed it on that. So the last time I've been more focused, and I feel like I've done better. But it makes for if it wasn't boring enough, it's even more boring with me talking less. So, but during this it'll be good, because during the actual event, I got all day. I'm not under any memory sports constraints. Right. I can take my time. So it's 70 decks. I kind of got a strategy, and so what I'm going to do is go through the decks, quite a few times, hopefully enough that I can have fun during the recall, where appropriate, because some of the images might not be appropriate. I'll explain here's what's going on in this, and this is in my old house, and this guy's I don't know, dancing on this guy's head on my childhood bed, that kind of stuff. People would laugh at that. A couple of times where I've recalled the entire decks, like while I was clicking on the cards, I'm like, hey, this guy's doing this. It blew some people away. They're like, wow, for the amount of information I'm doing in such a short amount of time, my stories were so clear, which is cool, because I was like, I didn't realize that's just how I memorize. And sometimes I add the story after. I'm putting these images in places so fast, but then when I come back to them later and I review them, it's like I come up with the story later, because like in a longer event, I review the cards more than once, right? If that makes sense. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting on a tangent now, but
no,
yeah,
I got lots of questions.
But yeah, that is part of the plan. I'm hopefully going to find one or two people that maybe want to jump in and commentate a little, because I might be pretty focused, like especially during the memorization. I'm probably not going to talk a lot. I'll probably take some pee breaks and some drink breaks and some, have a sandwich or something. But
right.
I'll be pretty focused. During recall, hopefully I can relax a little bit. But I mean, even the recall is going to take, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 hours. Like it's going to be a slog, man. I'll do my best to make it entertaining though. And
if there are commentators, are you going to have their sound or no?
I don't know. I don't think I want to. I don't know.
Imagine you get a bunch of.
I gotta think about.
You get a bunch of mnemonists in there, and they're like, "Here comes the Queen of Hearts. That's my bone from Space Odyssey 2001." It's like, and then you're like, "Oh, shit." That would be an interesting event, right? Is you memorize the deck of cards, and then you have people who actually have the systems sit there, and as you're reassembling the deck, they're shouting at you their images for the cards as you're putting them out. I don't know. Maybe
that'd be hilarious. That's actually a good idea. As long as I couldn't hear it, I think that would be good, because that would probably throw me right off.
Right. No, but that's what I mean. As like a challenge, not for this, but like a future event would be, mnemonist obstruction. Yeah.